Hi Omar, Oceana here with G3 Agency with your free website audit for Right Angle in Houston, Texas. In this free SEO website audit provided by G3 Agency, I'm going to show you 3 to 4 things that you can do to get right angle in front of the people searching for landscaping services in the Houston area. That's my little intro. Do you like it? So like I said on the phone, I don't expect anything in return for this video, but I would love some feedback from you on whether it was helpful and if you're going to do anything with this information. I'm curious. And then also, of course, like I said, you can think of this as like a business card with oomph, where I give you this information for free for you to do whatever you will with it. And then, of course, there's a chance that, you'll decide, oh, well, I trust you. I like, you seem to know what you're talking about. Maybe we can work together. And if that's the case, then I'd be happy to set up a chat with me and my team and you and whoever you want to invite, just talking about, your business goals and to see if we mesh and if a partnership makes sense moving forward. But this is my gift to you. It's my way of putting good karma into the world and just giving freely from my heart to do what I've been training to do because it's my passion. So anyways, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right in. So the first thing that I always check for when I audit a website is a big click to call phone number at the top. The reason for this is that more than half of the people coming to your site are going to be on their phone. And if you have a big click to call phone number up here, that means that it's going to be right there where they can see it and they can tap on it and it's going to automatically pull up their phone app so they can call you. And it just makes the shift from curious to customer a lot easier for those potential customers. That's really all I'm going to say on like the experience of the customer or the visitor once they're at the site. The rest of this is really going to be about how to get people to your site to begin with. I use a tactic, you probably heard of it. It's called search engine optimization. Basically, it's going to be about little changes you can make to your website to better communicate to Google that you're an expert and that you ought to be at the top of the Google results, which is how people find new businesses to work with. So let's get into it. So the first thing, of course, is content. So how many words are on your page? Pardon me. And are they relevant to what you do? Do you talk about what you do, who you do it for, what materials you use? And from what I've seen on your site, honestly, you do a pretty good job of this. I would just suggest that you add a lot more words to it because Google really loves content. And if you have the most words and they're actually good, about what you do and all that kind of stuff, that'll help to show Google that you know what you're talking about. And then also, if I right click an image, which your images are kind of weird, so I'm going to have to figure out, let's see. If I right click an image and click save image as, that's supposed to work, but your images are kind of saved a little strange. So I'm going to try to find an image. Yeah. Not sure I'm going to be able to find one on your site. Let's see. Oh, this one. Oh, good. The top one is a regular. Okay, so you see how this string of numbers is here and letters and stuff. So that's not helpful. It's a missed opportunity. What you want to do is actually save your images again on your website, but this time save them as specific phrases that people are using when they're looking for your business on Google, or at least a business like yours when they don't know who they're going with yet. And I'll show you how I find those, and I'll show you a few that you might be interested in using yourself. But first, I put your website into this tool called Ahrefs, which gives me an in-depth look into how a website performs. Because in my world, it's one thing for it to look pretty, it's another thing for it to actually function properly as a lead generation machine, which is what how Home Advisor gets the leads that they share between a bunch of contractors, except in this case, these people would be coming straight to your website. And they would be calling you only, unless of course they go and search for other ones, and they we can't stop them from doing that. But when they get to your website, they're not going to be looking at a bunch of other people's stuff, obviously. Okay, so your UR and DR score are two metrics that are very important here. your UR score is on a scale of 0 to 100. How trustworthy does Google think that this exact web page is? So in this case, it's your home page because that's the page I put in. And it's got a 9. And this is actually, I mean, it's low, but it is pretty usual for these types of audits that I do. This is not a shockingly low score, and neither is this. But I would suggest that you bring these scores up, and how you do that is with not only the content on your page and the saving the images properly, but more importantly, your backlinks and referring domains. Now what those are, pardon, I don't know what's up with my throat today. Backlinks are any link that's going from another website coming back to your site. So it's a link to your site. And a referring domain is any website that has at least one of those links on it. So you've got 3 different websites pointing to your website a total of 6 times. And that's good. That's a good start, but you do want to increase that number. And when you do, I want you to be careful that you're going and finding websites that have a higher DR score. So like 30 and above is really good. And what that's going to do is it's going to boost your credibility, because if it's got a high DR score, Google trusts that website. And if it's sending people over to your website, that must mean that it thinks you're credible, and so Google's going to think that too. It's a popularity contest, I'm not going to lie. And then now we get to the the keywords. Woohoo! So I used the same tool, Ahrefs, and I went over to the Keyword Explorer. I put in Houston, and then I cross-referenced that with a small list of words here. So like concrete, and then I put deck, and then these 3 stars. These stars count as like a wild card is what they call it. And so that could be deck, decks, decking, etc. And then I did the same thing with landscape. So landscapers, landscaping would all work. And then solar, outdoor, sighting. So those are the words that I thought would be helpful. And then now we have this list of keywords here that might help. So as I go through, I look for 4 things in a good keyword. Something that you do, somewhere that you do it, high volume, and low KD. And I'll explain all of those. So something that you do, obviously if someone's looking for landscapers, you want to show up. Somewhere that you do it is very important, because if someone's just looking up landscapers, they could be anywhere. And it would be nice to show up for landscapers in general, but it's going to take a lot longer, and it's also going to be less specific. So like you'd be working really hard at being seen in front of people who happen to be in Los Angeles or like New York or something, and it just isn't helpful. So you want to make sure that your keywords that you're going after have the area in it. And then that way, if you're showing up for Houston landscapers in the top, and then someone looks up landscapers and they're in the Houston area, you're still going to be showing up better for that than if you didn't show up for Houston landscapers. I hope that made sense. If not, please let me know and I'll try to explain it better. Okay, so then high volume and low KD. So volume is like the number of searches each month that are spelled exactly this way. So like Houston landscapers with an S at the end gets searched 2.3 thousand times a month, which is like, wow, by the way. That's a big number in my world. And then KD is keyword difficulty. That's on a scale from 0 to 100. How difficult does this tool, Ahrefs, think it would be to get to the first page of Google? And a 21 is a bit high for what we're doing here. It's not impossible to get to the top of the Google results for a KD of 21, but we really like to go after the ones that are like 5 and below, because we see results a lot faster. So we don't have to put quite as much work into being seen on a keyword like that. So as I go down here, I see a few, like this one would be good, except it's Houston outdoor bars. That's not really helpful. I don't think they're really looking for you. So Houston landscaping design Houston, though. This one's good. It's only a little bit higher than we usually like to go for, and so it's still within good reach. 600 people are looking for that each month, which is still a pretty high number, to be honest, for this, for what I do. Because a certain amount of those people are going to be going to, each of the results that end up on the first page of Google, and a certain amount of those that go to the site, depending on the call to action and all of that kind of stuff. Some of those are going to end up being customers, and you don't really need that. You definitely can't handle 600. It's not all going to turn into customers, but this is a really good number to show up for. So I'm going to focus, I think I did focus on that one. Yeah, Landscaping Design Houston. And then there's a few others as I scroll down here just to give you an idea there. So that's pretty cool. The Solar Houston, very cool. It's 18. It's a little bit harder to, it's a little bit higher than we like to go after for beginners, but this is such a good high ticket item, and we don't usually see solar so low. Solar is usually a bit more competitive, that's the word. So it's cool to see this. So that would be another one you could go after. It's just going to take longer to go after an 18 than this lower number of like 6. Okay, so as we put in that search term here, we can see what comes up for people who search that. This is what's called the map pack. It's M-A-P-P-A-C-K, map pack. And how you get up into the map pack is a little bit different than how you get into what's called the organic results down here. So I'm going to take a second to explain that. What you want to do is look yourself up on Google by your business name, and then also your business phone number if the name isn't quite enough to find yourself. You want to make sure that your Google My Business listing, which is going to come up over here on this side, is up to date and accurate. Specifically your name, address, and phone number, because then you're going to take that information and plaster it all over different directories like Yelp, Yext, CityStar, White Pages, Yellow Pages, etc. And that's going to help to basically prove to Google, yes, I really exist. Yes, I'm serving this area, and that's going to help to basically it's a popularity contest again, so it helps to get up into this area. And if you do, then you're going to see a lot more people calling you and coming to your website. Okay, but none of that's exciting as showing up right here. So this spot right here is what's called the #1 organic result, and it gets approximately 30% of all of the traffic that comes to this page here. And then this one here is the second one. And it'll get about 20%. I'm not gonna compare you to house.com because it's just a little bit of a different game because that's a directory, but I can compare you to exteriorworlds.com. You may recognize them as a competitor of yours. Basically, we can look at their website and go, why is it that they're showing up at the top of Google and we're not? What is it that we can do that they do so that we can also show up in the front page? But also, what can we do that they're not doing that'll help us surpass them and maybe even surpass that directory at the top? So let's see. First is content. How many words are on the page? Are they relevant? They've got some words here, but it's not significantly more than yours. So if you brought up your word count quite a bit, that would be one way to get ahead there. And then if I right click on an image and I click Save Image As, this says Featured Image 02. So they're not taking advantage of that saving images as key phrases. So there's another way we can get ahead. And then here we can take a look at their Ahrefs and see how they're performing. And now we can see why it is that they're sitting at the top there. Now this may look like a lot of backlinks and referring domains, and it is a fairly large number, but it's not scary large, and honestly, not all backlinks are created equal, and they may have very low ranking backlinks there, and their UR and DR scores are not super impressive. Yeah, you see all these zeros? These are not good. These are scammy websites probably. And they're probably just super cheap backlinks that they probably paid somebody to go and do backlinks, and that person just went and got as many backlinks as they could without considering quality. So there's another way we can get ahead. If any of this didn't make sense, or if you'd like some more clarity on these things, I would be super happy to help you out. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, Omar. I really do. And I hope that you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. And I look forward to your feedback. Thank you so much. Bye.